change anything. For now, just run. Run with all the breath you have.
Noah, over here. We can go through here, and then we're out.
All right.
Oh no!
Sparks! We almost made it. I'm sorry. Huh? If I'd been just a bit faster, I could have saved many more lives. Who are? I'm Ethel, from Colony 4.
Silvercoat Ethel. She pushed her colony all the way to rank silver, and in her 3rd term at that.
Some do call me that. However, a person's worth isn't in their color. It's here. Nice blade you've got.
Wow, tough guys, eh? It's a wild ride, this passage of fate. We got ourselves a nice little awakening.
You were all talk when you left here, but you've nothing to show for it, Dee.
Oh, spare me, P. After all, I did precisely what I was meant to do.
So, about that huge bet of yours, pray tell us who won.
A draw, I think. And with 2 whole colonies on the field. We should have sallied forth in the first place. The whole thing would have been done by tea time.
It was Jay who insisted on it. I thought that had already been communicated.
In that case, I believe it's my turn next.
I'm pretty sure you already had your kicks the other day when you wiped out Colony 8, no? Surely the turn is mine.
Honestly, you make more noise than the rabble at a feast.
Zed!
Even if you did stop its raging flow, it will soon burst through. All it takes is the slightest fissure.
And that is fate. I've told you before, haven't I? D.
The gang's all here again.
Kay, will you go?
If you say I go, I go.
Well then, let us see how far the flow brings them this time.
Guys, what do you think you're doing?
Oh, Tyan, morning!
Hey, did we wake you? Honestly, I'm surprised you haven't gone and woken up the whole Forsaken Continent. So?
Oh, this? We reckon we might be able to do the same as what Noah and Mio did.
You reckoned? You mean that Ouroboros thing?
Yeah! How badass was that? We thought if we pulled it off, it'd raise our chances of survival a whole bunch.
And you think it's that easy?
Huh? I mean...
I don't mean to burst your bubble here, but don't you think maybe that power's meant only for them?
Yeah, but that Mobius guy, he did refer to us. I just thought...
You thought maybe you could transform as well? What makes you think it would be you two, anyway? Say it is possible. It could be me and Lance.
It's just... kind of a feeling.
Yeah, just a hunch, right? Something wrong?
Not at all. Then, I guess that leaves me with her. I envy you, I really do.
Oh, what are you moaning about now?
Let's drop it. I don't want us bickering this early. Especially not now we seem to be sharing a common destiny, we happy few.
If I didn't know better, I'd say you're trying to get us all worked up.
Think whatever you want.
I think you might be on the mark, though.
Oh?
We were all there, every one of us, in the same situation.
Now, hold on.
The only difference was, I was set on protecting Mio, protecting all of you guys. And then I suddenly transformed.
That's it? That's all it took?
Yeah.
So you can take that form via a strong desire or emotion?
Possibly.
Probably too much to ask a Professor Grump here.
What, me?
Well, who do you think?
And you're any different?
What, me? As if I'm gonna join with you.
Uni.
Come on, though.
You're not going to manage this overnight. Not the way you all are right now. Even so, it can't hurt to have a little hope, can it?
I suppose there's logic in that.
Okay, everyone ready? Yup. Tasty treats. Check. I just took a quick look around and equipment seems surprisingly quality. Don't you think? Yeah, looks that way. That city we're headed for. Looks like it'll be a long journey. I found us a route heading south. Will that work for you? Thanks, Tyon. Hey, you got some real handy data there. I guess we should head through the caves and toward Millick Meadows first, then. Chin up, guys. Let's get going. Changing player characters. It's pressing L or R while holding ZL, and you can switch between which character leads your party. So welcome back to Thionite Plays Xenoblade Chronicles 3. On the last episode, we found out that Mobius's claims of the world being our enemy was much more literal than we'd hoped. All of our allies and comrades in our colonies...
We need to cut through that cave if we're going to head south.
How come you get to be the boss? I know this stuff too.
Interrupting my intro. All of our allies, they're our enemies now. They turned against us. They attacked us on sight. So we regrouped. We went back to our little dropship that's back there off in the distance. And we formed a much more lasting, far-reaching alliance between Keves and Agnes with our Agni and Off-Scene group, our friends Mio, Tyon, and Senna. And we've got some sweet new clothes. We look absolutely fantastic. So, now we begin our journey proper to the city. The journey of 1,000 steps.
What kind of place is this?
Hermit's Alleyway. It's a cave, Uni. There are bats in here. We're just going to... Nope, we're going to fight them a bit, apparently. So, we get to see what a party of 6 does against various enemies. And as you can tell by the fact that we are already 3... Oh, no, it's dead. We kill enemies much more quickly with 6 versus when we have 3. So there is a lot more nuance to combat now that we have 6. And in an effort to show that off, I believe we're going to switch to Tyon. Let's see how Tyon acts. So what does Tyon do? As always, he's got his arts. Overfall, Stormy Skies, and Hazy Figure. Overfall is an ether defense down art, which inflicts the ether down debuff on enemies. It makes ether attacks do an increased amount of damage. Stormy Skies is our AoE healer, because Tyon is, of course, the Agnian group's healer. Very much similar to Uni's particular group heal. And we've got loot. We will claim it. We will get whatever's inside. Gemstones, a quill, and another gemstone. More Vangs. Hazy Figure is a field placement art, much like Power Ring, but instead of raising our attack, it raises our evasion. It's definitely something you want to put down either around your attackers or your defenders, whichever one usually you find to be drawing the most amount of the aggro. Any way you can help with drawing and reducing damage is very much appreciated by either attackers or your defenders. So we've got a giant rock. How are we going to move it?
No problem.
We're going to get the 2 people who are not the strong muscle heads to move the giant rock. Smart tactics. Lance and Senna probably want everyone else to get a taste of the medicine. It's like, we do this all the time. You can try and do it.
This is kind of awkward.
How do you think we feel?
Well, I'm sure everyone will get over it. It is early days yet. So we've made our way out of the cave, out of Hangman's Alley or whatever it is. And now we are met with a brand new opening into Millick Meadows. The world is opening up to us. Look at the gorgeous view of our title screen Titan off in the distance. And there's our eventual goal, the sword that supposedly houses a mysterious place.
It's a long journey before you reach the great sword.
Yes, it is.
Everything's gonna be fine, Mimi. Hang in there.
The city awaits. We will continue our journey.
Hey guys, could I have a moment?
Meh? Yeah? What's up?
There's something that I forgot to tell you.
It's about who in charge of Din duties?
No. From now on, I want us to avoid combat as much as possible. So, Kevez, Agnes, if either of them decide to put up a fight, don't kill them, okay?
Not saying I'm against the idea. But why?
Guess it'd suck having to draw on our allies.
Do we just knock them out cold or something?
or get them to surrender.
How kind of you.
Huh?
I'm sure our past victims will appreciate that.
You little...
We don't need to take any more lives. There's no point. There's a reason we met. There has to be.
Huh?
You think?
Back then, if we hadn't met each other, we wouldn't be here like this now.
Even though we're being chased by both nations at once?
We get chased, we run. Easy.
A smart new decision.
We'll keep on running. To that sword.
Talk about bad blood.
Just give it time. It's early days.
Maybe so.
Funny pattern you got there.
You can talk. You've got those shiny chest doodads.
We've always had these.
You know, I've never even thought of myself as strange before.
So many things. Taken for granted. We're pretty different, huh? Worlds apart.
No one's worlds apart. If anything, we should be questioning all that we've thought to be true. Differences are all a matter of perspective.
Our skeptic.
Hey, are you always like this?
Of course. It's my nature.
Personally, I think it's easier to take things at face value, you know?
Now, wouldn't that be nice?
Huh? You making fun of me?
All I said was, it would be nice.
Oh, no, you don't. You just call me an airhead, you jerk.
This is just... How long are you going to drag this out?
For as long as I sparking need to, until you come clean, Four Eyes.
I can't believe this. Someone shoot me.
What's that? Hey, Mimi, you can see that ferronis over there, by the side of the big outcropping of rock, right? Oh, yeah. Odd. I don't have any data about a colony established in this locale. Odd for sure. Noah, take a good look. Isn't it kind of old? It does look like it's seen quite a bit of service. Yeah, I don't think they make them like that anymore. Do you think it's safe to be around? You're freaking me out a bit here, Mio. Sorry. I don't think an apology is necessary. Do you think there could be some useful resources and stuff in there still? A possibility, certainly. It's still in the general direction of our objective, so why not investigate it? Alright, let's check it out. And check it out we shall. The Hillside Hulk. We get to go and find the strongest Avenger. No, that's Point Break, obviously. So, there it is, and that's our newest temporary objective. So, in the effort of a little bit of housekeeping and transparency, this is not the first time that I've recorded this and the previous episode. The audio corrupted on the first one, and it was unrecoverable to my meager experience, so I'm basically just redoing the entire 2 episodes. And it actually is rather fortuitous that it happened that way, because if you remember last episode, that little scene in the downed airship crash site with the dog tags,
What kind of place is this?
I didn't see that in the original recording of this. So it's definitely something I'm rather glad happened, because now everyone gets to see that little bit of extra dialogue. Lots of husks here. Definitely gonna send all these guys off. Sending them off together. We got a lot of affinity points for that. So off in the distance, you might see this particularly familiar, possibly,
Never seen this place before.
landmark of Kamo's guidepost. There will be a handful of landmarks and locations that might resonate with you if you've played either Xenoblade 1 or 2, and keep those in the back of your mind. It might just be important later on to be able to recognize some of those locations. But for right now, we will continue on to our Hillside ferronis Hulk. Oh, and a battle between, it looks like some Brogs and some Crustips. Definitely going to ignore that for the moment. We want to get straight off to this wreckage, see if there's any delicious sparkly loot for us. Crustips. Filthy crustaceans. They're blue and pinchy. And worst of all, blue. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, a number of them. We can count. The Count would be pleased. Reckon they've staked their ferronis as the turf? We'll have to get rid of them before we can loot the place. Sounds like a plan. A plan it is. Luring enemies. Enemies that are close together tend to attack in groups. In such cases, press the up on the D-pad to lure over a single enemy from a group at a time, and gradually pick them off. That is most certainly a sound plan. With so many enemies, it would be unwise to attract more than necessary. Even though we are a group of 6, we don't need to take unnecessary risks. Plus, it's a lot easier to focus down on one than it is on 5 total. Plus, they are a tiny bit higher level than us, so it's always a good idea to err on the side of caution. Still, not particularly challenging.
You look great.
So let's just take these all down one at a time. So you may have noticed in that last bit of fighting that particular Crustip had blue wings next to its name. That means it's a particularly rare and difficult monster. And the rewards we got from defeating it, as you saw, we had several 100% more reward in terms of gold, EXP, SP. We had several times the payout of the reward for defeating that particular enemy that we would have got otherwise from, say, this particular Crustip. See how it has no blue wings next to its name? That means it's just your bog basic Nestran Crustip. Boring as the grass we walk upon. So we get particularly more EXP from those rarer enemies, and it's definitely worth the time to go out of your way to defeat those enemies. It's certainly something to keep in mind of the different types of enemies that are wandering around Ionios. Whether they're the rare sparkling ones that give more rewards at the drop, the loot that they drop at the end of a fight, like the meat or the eyeballs, like all that kind of stuff. You get more of that. Or if it's the blue winged enemies who give several times more of the more meta rewards.
Looks like we got rid of all the Crustips living in the ferronis.
That we did.
Let's check out the container.
Containers, loot, or unique enemies. Just finishing up the thought, they give rewards that are very much useful. It won't budge. It's rusted shut. Because ferronis is low on power. If we bring it online, containers might open. Climb to the top. In ferronis of this type, power compartment usually located over there. Okay, let's take a look then. All the way up on top. Let's climb. What do we got?
We need to time this right.
Again, get the healers to do all the heavy lifting rather than the people who love to lift heavy things. How does it look, Riku? Meh. Power level is at precisely 0, so Riku cannot say one way or other. Guess without a flame clock, it was really kind of a long shot. Bet we could force open the containers. They don't look so tough. If you're confident you can do it without breaking the contents, be my guest. No promises. Stop! No need for gratuitous violence. Can solve problem with ether cylinder. Riku surely have one somewhere. I have one hiding away in my afro. Meh. Doth my eyes deceive me, or is that flat out empty? Back at the colony, we'd always complain about how we were short on this or that. But even a fraction of the supplies there would have been more than what we have right now. Now that we're away, I'm sure we'll miss home even more keenly. All of the food. Hey, correct me if I'm wrong, but we just need to supply it with ether to get it running, right? That is what Riku said. I ask because look over there. Isn't that an ether channel? It doesn't look too far. I'll go take a look, see if we can't harvest some for us. I'll go with you. There is safety in numbers. Perhaps it would be best if we all try and stick together. I second that assessment. Thank you, Tyon. Birds of a feather, that's us. Even though we have a party member with actual feathers. Let's go! Let's get the glowing ether right out of the ground. Ether channels. On the field, there are green light sources called ether channels. Use them to fill up the ether cylinder. Surely it'll come in handy in your adventure, so harvest them as you see them. All you have to do to harvest them is just walk up to them and press A. That is something we can do with absolute ease. Presuming, of course, we can get around all of the enemies that are everywhere at all the times. Got some flyers and greebles.
Ether's gushing out. This is an ether channel, no doubt about it.
And we are going to pick it all. 1, 2, 3 whole bars of ether. Should be enough. We've drained dry. Moving forward, there'll be doubtless times when ether will prove indispensable. Let's gather it up when we have a chance. We most certainly will. Let's get back to the ferronis and use that cylinder as quickly as possible. We need to reboot it. Bring it back online. Rebooting ferronis hulks. Throughout Ionios, you will find decrepit ferronis hulks lying around. They can be rebooted with the use of some ether cylinders. A rebooted ferronis can manufacture items with its fabricator, and will have containers which conceal hard-to-get items, and can even be used as a rest spot. So a place that we can get loot and sleep safely? Man, that's about as good as you could ever get. We'll ignore... I said we'll ignore the purple brogs. We have no desire nor need to fight the brogs. We need to get back to the Hulk. Only he can protect us.
Get the ferronis running. That's not going to switch on the defenses, is it?
Oh, I hope not.
I can confirm that they were damaged beyond repair. We'll be fine.
Oh, that's a relief. A load off my mind. I want this loot with as minimal problems as possible.
Let's install an ether cylinder in the power compartment and get the ferronis moving.
That is the plan and the goal. Ferronis Hulk. We only need one of them. Shall we use him? We certainly shall. Plug that sucker in. And just like that, our fabricator has come online. Massive success. Ferronis Hulk rebooted. It moved. It did, Noah. Now we should be able to claim the contents of those containers. Loot, 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 loot. We may be able to claim more than we first anticipated. More loot? How do you reckon? That's how. By restoring power to the ferronis, it would seem we've brought the microfab back to life as well. So yes, I'd recommend checking the fabricator while we're on our little salvaging stint.
Let's use this spot to rest.
The landmark discovered, the Hillside Ferronis Hulk. Unfortunately, we are going to have to leave the loot for the next episode, so whether you've watched for 30 seconds or the entire thing, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you on the next episode. Catch you later!